Earful Tower listeners, I'm Oliver.
I'm James.
And I'm Lina.
Hang on. A third co-host? We have a guest/co-host this week, Lina.
A mystery guest.
A mystery guest
Not
to
quite.
help us tackle a topic close to many people's minds and hearts, French politeness and the dreaded tu and vous.
What have you done, Oliver? You found the most polite person you could find. I brought her on the show.
Lina's got plenty to say on this topic, and I'll get into
Well,
why
we'll see.
I'll get into why we chose her in a minute. But first, I think we need a jingle.
Earful Tower with Oliver G.
So yeah, we're talking about politeness today, and we've got at Parisian Postcards Instagram runner Lina, who is our graphic designer for the show.
Yes, it's me.
You did.
Yeah.
You did the what do you call it?
The mastermind.
The logo. You did the
Yes.
logo.
Yes, I did.
So you're here to co-host the show.
That's the Eurostar just arriving
hear
from
that?
London.
Yeah, that's exactly what that was.
I'm sure
What?
everyone heard
I
that.
thought it was a fire alarm.
I thought it was in my head.
No, we're right near the Gare du Nord train station, so I think that was just the.
I decided to open the window, but
Yeah, I like it.
It's good. Good little bit of
Yeah, it gives it character.
ambiance.
You might say that train driver wasn't very polite.
He was honking his horn,
Yeah.
as the French do.
So, yeah, well, that's something.
They love that.
This whole episode is going to be about French politeness, being polite to one another.
But
That was not in my head.
No,
no,
that was for real.
how
that
do you
one.
not get? How do you get angry on a train?
How do they not know that we're recording?
So rude.
So, Lina,
Yes.
seeming you're the co-host, I'm wondering if you got anything to start us off with on this politeness talk.
Politeness. Well, tu and vous, you mean?
Tu and vous? I don't know. I didn't mean
Yes.
anything. You're the co-host.
In general, okay.
But let's do tu and vous. Let's start
Yeah,
with
let's
it.
just start with that because I happened to research a little bit just before tonight's
A
show.
prepared guest.
Yes.
Co-host?
Yes, always.
Go on then. What have you researched?
So I
Or should we take it? Should we just get right back to the basics for
Yeah.
anyone that's listening who doesn't know what tu and vous is? So tu is the informal one that you'd use with a friend or whatever, and there's much more to it than this. And vous is a bit more formal, essentially, but they mean the same thing.
yes.
So what did you bring in?
Okay, well, I consulted a page called, it rhymes with Wikipedia. I'm not sure if we can make
I've never heard of it.
references to other.
Is it similar
Anyways,
to
it's the source
Wikimedia?
of all knowledge and also the author of my uni papers.
Okay, they were the author of my uni
No.
papers. So what did you find on this Wikipedia website?
Wikipedia told me that. Well, I kind of skimmed. It was really boring. But I found one sequence that I thought was quite interesting. That in old French, like a couple of hundred years ago, I assume, in French poetry, they actually used tu, which is the impolite form to speak to kings and God.
What?
So
So they would
There's
vouvoie
that.
gods.
yes, no, tu,
Oh, the tutoie.
yes, and kings.
James looks puzzled. Hang on, there might be a problem.
Do you vouvoie or do you tutoie God in
You
French?
tutoie God.
I don't know.
Vous qui êtes aux cieux.
But so
Yeah.
in the olden days, they used to tu God and kings, but nowadays you wouldn't tu a king.
Yeah, and
Why
it used to be like a class thing. So the higher class used to be wooing each other and the lower class tuing. But I don't know. I'm no expert.
James looks puzzled.
I'm just.
I'm confused between this vouvoie. So, did the higher class, did they vouvoie the king and God? They
I think one did it.
really? The lower classes,
I mean,
they were allowed to tutor the king?
yeah,
It
you could
seems-
probably add something to Wikipedia
I guess they got
yourself.
close. They got close
You know?
enough to him to cut his head off. So they must have been quite, you know.
So the
Close.
thing is with this whole tu and vous thing that I find really complicated is it's not like it sounds easy enough, polite, impolite, or informal, formal, but there's a whole lot more to it. Like for example, if someone's 5 years older than me, I should be calling them vous, maybe, right?
Yeah, I think it's all about the feeling as well. But if you want to be sure, you vouvoie them. And
So maybe you can explain the difference between these words you're using, vouvoie and tutoyer.
I think this is going to take up a good half-hour show.
Quick
here.
fire round.
But how would you explain? I think we need to go through several situations where you can vouvoie and where you definitely can't vouvoie. But if you
First
were-
time we met?
First time we met, if you were my
Look at those crow's feet.
no, that
What?
As an elder.
The first time we met, you called me Mormek, so I would probably tutor you for that.
That's flashbacks to our embarrassing. For anyone that doesn't know what he's talking about, I used to say "mon mec" to everyone, which literally means like my guy or my love, and I thought it was just street slang.
My lover.
And I'd been saying it for
Oh.
2 years, and then James said, "Mate, you shouldn't be calling."
So
people."
Ollie looked back at
Just
all
a
the
little
times that
tip.
he's called everyone.
Is
Yeah.
that someone at the door?
Did you hear the
Oh,
door? Is it the door knock?
Hey!
Oh. Hang
Who
on.
could this be?
How's this?
Dingo Mike's just walked into the studio.
Wow, sorry to
Dingo
drop by
Mike.
unannounced, everyone. I just thought you'd enjoy some.
Hang on, if you're listening at
What,
home.
what are you holding?
Well, this is coffee from Kachum Cafe.
Well,
I just,
look at that.
What
Why
a
not?
Just-
I'll
coincidence!
pop on by and.
So Dingo Mike's just
The
walked into the
legendary.
studio from Katoom Cafe that we mentioned
With his Kuchum cups.
with coffee for 4. Mike, put on some headphones and join us.
Yeah, you don't
Yeah,
mind?
join. Just
Okay.
talk straight into the microphone. Although,
Who wants a coffee?
Yes,
go for it.
please.
Pour the
Let's
coffee,
go
and
for it.
we'll. Are you touring him, by the way, James?
I'm tuning. Oh yeah, I'm tuning. I've seen him before.
We're already at
We-
2 levels, are we?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Cheering everyone.
so just to keep you up to speed, Mike, thanks for bringing in the coffee. But we're talking about politeness. Lina's the
Ah,
co-host,
thank you.
who you maybe have seen on @Parisian Postcards on Instagram.
Yes, I have.
She does. Maybe we should take a pause to explain those kind of drawings, Lina. What are you doing there? And why should people follow you?
Oh, well, I'm just doing some drawings out of my own, like, kind of happenings from my own Parisian. How do you call it? Everyday?
Right.
Yeah.
that's
Could you hear that?
that's Mike peeing in the corner. No, that's Kitsune. Talk about impoliteness.
Thanks, mate.
You're welcome.
What are we drinking here, Mike?
This
Oh, smells
is filtered coffee.
And you work at Kitsune, right?
I do work at Kachum, that is correct. This is filtered coffee from Ethiopia.
Are you giving out business cards?
No, I'm not as knowledgeable as Tom Clark. I think
Tom Clark?
episode 3 is
Oh, Dingo Mike
The,
is a
Wow,
regular
he's done
listener
his
to the show.
research.
the new coffee scene or something
Yep,
in Paris.
that's exactly
something
right.
like that.
Yep.
But I believe this is a Demici edema from
Tastes like a Demici edema.
Ethiopia.
It smells really
Ethiopian
nice.
Highlands. So yeah, there's enjoy.
Yeah, thanks.
Very nice. Thank you.
So back to Parisian postcards.
Yes.
So this is things that maybe did or maybe didn't happen to you, and we're talking illustrations.
We're talking illustrations,
Okay.
little cartoons, quick sketches, that kind of thing.
I think I've seen him in Expatriates
Yeah.
magazine, Paris.
Yes, I've been covered there a couple of times, which
Published.
is very exciting.
So who buys your postcards?
Well,
They're
it's
not- hang on,
actually-
they're not postcards.
They're not actual real postcards.
Oh,
Hang on,
They
Lena,
did.
you're
What are we
going to have to
talking about?
explain Instagram
Yeah.
to James, by the way. Tone it down.
What's that look?
Anything-
What's-
Well, I just
Explain what?
assumed.
Explain what?
I mean,
So it's all
You
on
look so
Instagram,
young.
right?
it's all on Instagram.
Okay,
Exactly.
and you're going to be, we haven't talked about this, but you're going to be running the Earful Tower's Instagram for a week with some pictures?
Yeah.
Oh, I should have talked about that one.
Yeah.
Surprise.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, so you can look forward to seeing some fun illustrations for a week.
And let's do it about, maybe you
And
can do it
maybe
on
just some
politeness.
We can do it on politeness, exactly.
What are you going to do? Illustrate moments of politeness in
Yeah, just
French
do
life.
if something weird happens to me, like it does, this is Paris, things happens every day. I just kind of put my own little twist to it and add a fun picture and a caption, and yeah,
I love them, I'm a fan.
it's a little cartoon.
She did the logo, I mean.
Yeah,
this
the
is-
logo's cool. I can see. I've seen the new logo.
Yep, cool logo.
Cool logo.
Do you one day plan to make them into real postcards?
Oh, that would be a
Or
dream.
is it
Yeah,
just
that'd
on
be
Instagram
fun.
for the
I think it would work.
Yeah, that
You
could
can
work,
go and
right?
sell them on the Kid La
like a
Seine.
little hallmark.
That's true.
Oh,
yeah.
I'm sorry,
like at the
Ballmark.
bookstores there.
Yeah.
What are they called in French again?
I don't know what you call them.
The bookstores
Yeah,
on
the
the
sellers.
Seine,
Oh,
Oh,
yeah, I can be the postcard lady.
You could ask them if because they have postcards. They do.
And
They
I
sell
go
those like
sell
old-fashioned
birdseed.
postcards, don't they?
Yeah.
Books and things like
Yeah.
that.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that could work.
Well, guys, we're having a lot of fun, but I think we need to get back to the topic of politeness, which in French is politesse.
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 La politesse.
La politesse. And I've got a question that I want us to all discuss. Are the French really rude, or is that just a myth?
I don't think they are.
Are you talking about French, the French as a whole country, or Paris?
Yeah, that's a very good point.
I think
Two
you made
different
you
things.
make a difference there between the two. Between the French, between the Parisien and the Provinciaux.
Province. So
Yeah.
James, as regular listeners know, is from the countryside and hates when Parisians call people from the countryside, call the countryside the province.
It's not calling people from
Why?
the countryside, it's calling everyone who isn't from Paris
See, there's a
Provinciaux.
vein has popped out in his head.
Throbbing.
But it's something you could be from anywhere. You could be from Strasbourg, you could be from Nice, you're a
Yeah.
Provincial. It
Yeah.
doesn't, it's just like everywhere.
Is that a
except
kind of
for-
form of impoliteness, do you think, when they say that?
Yeah, it's like my little bubble.
Or is it
That's
just
my
an
take on
inferior
it.
complex?
No, I haven't got one of those. I'm all right. I'm here standing my grounds.
Let's
Okay,
let
good.
James answer this question about if French people are rude from his perspective, and then we can check it from an expat perspective. What do you think, James? Are French people rude?
French people rude. So we're talking about Parisians here because we're on World Radio Paris.
That's true.
So
Let's
we're
let's
talking-
keep it Parisian.
Yeah, I think because there is a difference to make. I think, but it also goes into, I think, the fact that you're in a big city. People probably in a lot of countries are more tense in big cities. They're not quite as relaxed. Everything's a bit more hurried. So I would say, Parisians are more impolite than the rest of the French people
So it's not really a rude thing; it's more of a rushed thing.
as well. But I think there's a bit of the French. I mean, we're known for having a bit of, being a bit arrogant, and that definitely doesn't play. I mean, that plays a role in being impolite.
Shall we tell stories about when rude things have happened to us?
Tell me, because maybe some of them that you seem that's I've heard people talk to me about situations before that they've thought were rude and which actually aren't. If
You know what
within
fits in
French
that?
culture that isn't something rude. Things such as sometimes raising your voice, or people can think that we're shouting at each other or something,
Yeah.
whereas it's just a normal conversation, which is
You're just talking about a recipe for ratatouille. I think.
something like that.
No, I've got a story that I think we talked to Stephen Clark about on a previous episode, where a waitress came over and she said she heard us speaking English and she said, "I'm listening to you," like that. And the people that I was with said, "Oh, that was pretty rude. I understand this rudeness now that everyone's talking about." But I think she was just translating "Je vous écoute,"
Yeah, which
is
isn't impolite
literally
at all.
"I'm listening to you." It's quite a
It's
polite
like
way to say it.
my ears are open, I'm all ears for what you want to order.
Also, she tried to be polite, but you came across
Exactly.
completely
So
opposite.
you think of some tourists who walk out and
that's so
go, "Well,
unfortunate.
I get it. These French people are rude." When
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
maybe it's just a language thing.
And translation, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
it really could
Difference
be.
in
Do
translation.
you guys have stories about rude or potentially rude?
Well, I was just maybe it's not so much rude as in a comment on my appearance that day, but the other day I would happily, after a yoga class, I might add, so nice and sweaty and just covered with big clothes.
So you're wearing baggy clothes. What happened?
Yes, and I walked into my local boulangerie, that, like I do almost every day, order a baguette or whatever it was, I can't remember, and my boulanger, he turned around and he was like, "Bonjour, monsieur."
Oh,
And I was like, "Oh, yeah."
Oh,
it was the baggy
Right.
clothes, or
I'm
what
not
was
sure.
it?
I don't know. I don't know what it was. Or I was like, I kept looking around to see if there was someone else behind me, but
No one there.
I was alone.
do you think that would have happened elsewhere than in France, or was it just?
I was just hoping that he was late for like a new prescription upgrade for his glasses or something. But,
I've
you
got a
know,
theory what
a
might
girl
have
can
happened.
dream.
I've got a theory because you said previous to the show
Yeah.
that we didn't bring up, but we can bring up now, that you have an interesting strategy about the whole tu and vous thing. If I can quote you, I just never use vous, ever.
Simple.
Is that your way around it?
Yes.
That way you
when
don't
you
need to
walked
work.
in,
Yes,
you
I'm
wa-
so familiar with everyone.
You
It's
walked
perfect.
into the 80-year-old bakery man and said, "Salut mec, je prends un
maybe-
croissant s'il te plaît." And he said, "Ah oui monsieur," is that what happened?
Yeah, we have a very lovely
So
relationship.
tell us that, why are you not saying vous?
I don't know.
Is it
I
the conjugating the verbs or?
I mean, for one thing, I'm making everything way simpler for myself.
Mm.
And second of all, it's just, we're all on the same level here. I'm very Scandinavian, very equal.
So how do
Yeah.
people react? Are they offended, or they actually find you very friendly because you're tutoring them
I
straight
don't
away?
know. I just try to smile a lot.
Mm.
Yeah, I don't know.
What do you make
It's
of
worked
it,
so
Dingo
far.
Mike?
He's shocked.
Speechless.
Stunned.
Speechless at this point, sorry.
Do you think it's rude that she doesn't use the vous?
I understand that it's extra to learn, especially when it's a new language. But yeah, the whole motto of the French culture and stuff is égalité, fraternity, and
Liberté.
liberté.
Mm.
So we're not all equal. If you know.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, perfect.
where does that come into play?
Some French people do the same thing. I have a French friend. He's a sailor from Brittany called Fabien, and he doesn't listen to the show, so I can call him a sailor.
Breton
The
sailor.
Breton sailor. But
Breton sailor.
he says that he never, if anyone calls him vous of any age, he's maybe 40 years old. If someone, a 20-year-old says Monsieur vous, whatever, he say no, use tu. He doesn't use it.
But he's in the
He finds it
position to say,
offensive.
he can say, yeah, tu toi mi.
But
Is
he
that
will-
because of his young age?
No, but if someone comes
Well
up to you and says, and vous vois you can then say tu toi mi, but it would be more awkward for the
But
other
he
way
says
around.
he'd do it to anyone regardless, even
Yeah.
if he was the president.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
He's going all by the liberté, égalité.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
So-
But how do you know? Are there any set rules?
There's a really great flow chart that I'm going to post on the website,
Uh-huh.
the Earful Tower website and Facebook. That was, I think, put together by the LA Times newspaper, and it's this huge flow chart of if you it goes, are you an adult? And then if you say yes, you go to the left, and it says, are you talking to a kid? Yes, you say tu. It's no, is it your mother-in-law? Then use vous. It has every single thing.
Yeah,
and you
because
can
there are
trace it all the way
some
down.
some way that they can catch you out pretty easily on some of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, but on the when you spur of the moment, you're just on the street walking, you see someone, and you'll be like, you can't.
I'm vooing.
I'm
I'm
doing.
All right, I've got a customer service story that I want to run past you guys and see what you think about it. And I don't know if it's got anything to do with politeness, but I just want some reactions. So it was this cocktail bar, and I went in there, and there was a woman walking around she had cocktails balanced on a tray, and she must have had 3 liters of cocktails. They came in these big brass, I don't know what you call them, like a jug. Lina, you were there. You don't have to pretend.
Oh yeah, I was there.
What is it? The listeners don't know. What was the thing called?
It's like a goblet,
like a huge
massive goblet
And she
to
walks,
share.
she walks along and she walks straight into the door, poor woman. But the whole goblet full of, I swear, 2 liters of cocktail fell on my head.
And it was made of
No.
brass.
It was brass, hit me on the head, covered me in, I don't even know what it was. It was like, it was
Would you
some
prefer to
rum-based
All sorts
cocktail.
of liquid.
Covered in mojito or
liquid.
anything.
It was
there?
I know it was rum-based because it smelled like rum. And I went, if you poured a bucket of water on me, I wouldn't have been
Is this why you
equally
got
wet.
that urge to chuck a glass of water at me earlier on?
Yeah, that's actually what.
You wanted to get your own back.
That's a different story, but I'm covered. I'm absolutely covered, and this is where the politeness or customer service bit comes in. I look at the woman who dropped it on me, and she starts picking it all up, and she doesn't even look at me. And I thought, she'll surely come and say, can I help or get you a free drink or help you get cleaned up, whatever.
You got your free drink, yeah. You got 3 liters of it.
So she didn't say anything. She totally ignored me, and I was like, okay, well, she'll come back and she'll make it right. She'll do something, and she didn't. And then I thought, well, surely the manager's going to do something. 5 minutes passed, people are milling around, but surely something's going to happen. This guy's soaking wet. The manager came out, ignored me, and I said, oh, sorry, mate. I'm covered. Like, all that you're cleaning up, that went all over me. Look at me. And he looked, and he goes, oh. And I go, do you have a towel? And he said, no, we don't have a towel. I said, you don't have anything? And he goes, I can try and find something. And I was kind of really confused that they didn't straight away jump to fix.
It was pretty shocking.
It was shocking, right? And
it was not like it was packed or anything. It was quite a few people
yeah.
that met, but it was not packed.
And it wasn't. It
But
wasn't.
it was
So they were
obvious
not
it was all
crazy
over
busy.
you.
It was
and
obvious.
You were the one.
Oh, he was
it
drenched.
It wasn't
He was
like
dripping.
mint leaves,
caused it
just like
or-
Yeah.
Totally, if you had to squeeze me and been underneath, you'd be drunk in 2 minutes.
Okay.
So then I eventually went to the bathroom. He gave me a tea towel and walked off. I went to the bathroom to clean myself up, and one of my friends, Carolyn, if you're listening, it's her, you. She went and she started arguing with him, and she said, "What kind of
Yeah.
customer service is this
Hero.
that you didn't even say sorry?" And he said, "Oh." He didn't know what to say, and eventually he said, "Oh, look, I'll give you a free drink," and then really reluctantly gave me a cocktail, and I said, "Well, I was speechless," and I, being rather conflict averse, I just went home.
Yeah,
Gave the
is that-
cocktail to Carolyn, but
Is this the norm?
so that long story over.
Maybe you had to stand up right from the beginning and say, mais qu'est-ce que vous avez fait là? Vous vous rendez
Oui.
compte?
There
And
we go.
actually, speaking of the vouvoying, if you vouvoie the waiter at that point, it's actually putting you in a position more like giving you.
Authority?
Okay, you could say more authority. You see what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
you mean
why?
because
if
you're
you-
respecting him.
No, because you're putting distance
But
between
if you're
you.
saying vous to them, you mean.
Yeah, you're putting distance between her, and you're saying, "Hey, you're not getting away with this." Whereas
Oh.
if you tutoie them, it would be, it would be fine. It would be fine. But vouvoying them is
So
putting that distance,
too
saying, "Hey,
familiar?
this is not." No, it's just if you're angry, you want to have that. Yeah,
Oh.
you don't really want to.
I would have thought it
sympathise
makes
with
the
the waiter.
opposite.
Familiar, you want to
Yeah,
make
right?
it serious.
You want to
That's
exactly.
it.
So
yeah,
talk us
yeah.
through it, James. So I'll be the waiter, and you can be you. If you just had a cocktail spilled on you, Mike, pour the coffee over him for that. Okay, so
I'd rather not
waste.
waste good coffee, but
It is really good coffee. Thanks for that. What a publicity stunt this one is.
What would happen? I'd
Okay,
probably,
ready? Go, spill.
vous avez vu ce que vous avez fait là?
So you have to put la at the end. You see what you've done there?
And then, what would I say? I'd say, mais vous plaisantez, vous ramassez par terre, vous avez vu ce qu'il y a sur moi?
Whoa.
And-
Okay, let's slow that one down a bit.
You need to write that
And,
down.
I want it. We can take people at home can take a recording of it and they can play it to their waiters.
Next time they get a mojito shoved on there. Did
Let's
you
say-
not?
Yeah, just keep it in your back pocket.
Say it a bit
There you go.
slower, James, for some of the listeners.
I'd say, mais,
and me.
I'd say, mais vous plaisantez, qu'est-ce que vous avez fait là? Vous ramassez ce qui est par terre et vous avez même pas vu ce que vous m'avez fait? Something like that.
Bring James to the pub.
And
so is it kind of like
confrontation?
where's the sorry?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
have you seen what you've put on the ground, and you haven't even addressed me to say you're sorry? And
Exactly, because I don't think there are any rules of customer service which would say, doesn't matter about the customer in that case.
Mhm.
It should be all about you.
I mean, you didn't even get a sorry.
Didn't he? Oh no, he
that
did
was-
say at the
that
end.
was
He
my
said
big
at the end. He said 1,000 apologies. But I didn't do it. I didn't leave a. People said to me afterwards, you should have ordered 12 drinks and just walked out without pay, or leave a bad review. I'm not a bad review. I'm all about positive reviews. Which reminds me, if you like to leave a review on the show, just go on the Earful Tower.
That was good timing.
Go on iTunes and
So smooth.
leave a little review. But do we have the review jingle? Because we've got a review that I want to
Ollie,
read
you're
out.
asking for jingles that I can't produce. Too many jingles.
Come on then, let's make one up. Review of the week. 5 stars, by the way. Class act, says Ben. Quick fire round is always a favorite. So you know what? We're going to do a quick fire round. For Lina and Mike, what do you reckon?
Okay.
I've got an idea.
well, let's see what we can
I
do.
usually
Alright.
run the quick fire round, but let's do a crossfire where I'm doing them for Lina
Crossfire?
and James, you do them for Mike, and
And
we'll
we're
make them
just
up on the
caught in
spot.
the middle.
Yeah, you
Okay.
ready?
All right, go
And
for
you
it.
do a different one to me every time, okay?
A different one.
Yeah. So I'll say one for Lina, and then you say one for Mike after she's responded.
Okay.
You ready? Quick
All right,
fire.
let's
So
go.
Two,
no
one,
thinking.
go.
You guys know how it works. Lina,
Yes.
best shop in Paris for knickknacks.
Oh. Monoprix.
No, okay.
I love
Best shop for
Monoprix.
shopping. Best shop for shopping when you want to get clothes and stuff.
Oh no.
Quick fire round.
First
First fail on the quick
Getting a
fire
bit
round.
of French mumble there.
Have a think about it, James. Move on.
So Dingo Mike, best place to go for a pint.
A cork and cavern.
Cork and
Cork and
Calvin in a
Always.
10.
Canal.
Okay.
Okay. Quick
Dear.
fire round, James.
Best place to what can I
I'll
ask
put you on the spot.
Yeah, you put me on the spot, Ollie. What
Come on.
can I ask you? What we like asking questions. Okay, where would you take a friend for half an hour in Paris?
Tourist.
Around Notre Dame, I'd say.
The cathedral.
What would you do?
Walk around walk around the actual cathedral. Look at the back of it, because for me that's more beautiful than the front.
As in the back with
And-
the park out there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay.
And just walk around there. It's very enjoyable. You've got the Hotel de Ville just there as well. So
Okay, cool.
Lina, you've got 10 euros left and you're about to leave. You're about to leave the city on a flight and you want to do something fun for an hour and a half.
Yeah.
What do you do?
I would
These are really
pay
hard.
someone to hang out with me. That's so sad.
What? Oh dear.
Okay, next.
Okay,
next.
now I'll give you another one.
Dingo
Where's
Mike.
No, I'll give you another question that's a bit more tangible. Best croissant in Paris.
Store.
Where's that?
Everyday store. It's on Rue Montegueil.
In the second.
In the second, it's beautiful. I think also it's the oldest bakery in town, where I got Monsieur the other day. So do not go there, my friends.
Don't
Do
go there in
do
your
go
yoga
there. They're
jackets.
very good.
I've had those croissants. They're really nice.
Yeah, they're really good. And
2
big.
more each, I think.
Okay, Mike, you're Australian. Best
Yes.
place to get where'd you buy your avocados in Paris?
Hang on, avocados aren't Australian.
You guys, first thing,
Eat so much
Mike
avocado.
came in with his bread and avocados.
That's true, we did.
I did. Avocados. Geez, I would say your local farmers market. They all get it from the same place.
Right.
So that would be
Just
my
go to the
bet.
market.
Just go to your local farmers market.
Okay, Lina, best place for a coffee, for like a nice flat white.
Probably Cafe Obicam.
Oh, good answer.
Yeah.
Who's
Mike?
been on the show?
Yeah, I love those.
And she's
Very good.
drinking a free coffee from Khartoum right now.
Where would you go,
I
Mike?
mean, great beans. Great beans.
Well, I would go on a day where Oberkampf Cafe is serving Kachum.
Hang on.
Okay.
Hang on. Whoa. We don't accept that on this show. You've already done your plug for Katoom. It has to be something you're not affiliated with at all. Get that out of here.
Peloton?
Oh, yeah.
Perhaps.
Good choice.
They sell Katoom coffee?
Hey, but they sell others as well.
No, but they've been on the show, so that's fine. You know Paul's new nickname, the guy in there? Master of the House.
How did he come up with that nickname?
No, I came up with it.
How did you come up
How
with
did
that?
you give him that?
I was in there the other day at the Peloton Cafe, which we've talked about on the show before. They've been on great coffee. And he's talking to everybody. He's got conversation with 6 people going at once. And then the guests, the customers who don't know each other, start talking to each other.
Okay.
And I've just seen Les Miserables recently, and I was like, this guy's the master of the house.
Yeah, he really was like
Yeah.
a coffee juggler.
You go there for
Or
a friendly
something.
vibe.
Yeah,
Yeah, really good. I recommend
it's
it.
great.
If anyone ever puts me on the quickfire round, that's what I'd say.
That might happen.
Yeah. So, well, these guys did well on the quickfire round, I think. First crossfire round.
There you go.
That's pretty good. Okay, so
yeah.
now we need to round it off with
Enjoyable.
a sort of summary of what we think about French politesse, la politesse.
We haven't heard from you, Ollie.
Yes.
Well,
We've heard your story.
I don't think
What do you
French
think?
people are impolite. I think they're quite polite and charming, but sometimes there can be language barriers that make things difficult.
Right.
But I've never... I mean, the only one time I've ever seen a rude French person, I thought, was when I carried beers from the bar to the table. And just as I got to the table, a woman came and took them out of my hand. And she said, "Are you English?" I said, "Australian, but what's the big difference?" And she grabbed the pints and put them 30 centimeters away on the table and said, "In France, we have service staff." As in, like, waiters and stuff. And I was like, oh, okay. Thanks.
You are
so innovative.
cultured
I'd just come to France at the time, and I thought, okay, they're a bit rude here, maybe. But then later, I realized maybe I'd already paid the bar price, and then I walked over to sit at the table. So maybe once again, it was a question of me not understanding properly as many tourists.
Of course, that's what
Yeah,
it
there's
is.
so many little
Yeah.
rules.
I didn't know. Like, how are you meant to know that? I had no
That's
idea.
something you got to learn. Yeah, so it's cheaper to get your drink at the comptoir.
So in summary, I think culture clashes are probably very much responsible for this perceived notion that French people are rude.
To be fair, with the amount of tourists coming, I can understand that some people would get on their nerves after a while. But
Mhm.
if they wanted to run, something correctly, you've got to put up with it.
Yeah.
That's what you're in for.
There you go.
That's true.
Closing
think-
statements from Dingo and Mike.
I somewhat agree with Lina. I like the whole fraternity, equality.
I think you're getting the
Liberty.
order wrong of the motto.
I don't care.
No, you don't care.
I'm not going to
Just
try
the
and put
three
it in
things.
order. But yeah, it's true. There's a lot of situations where you have to use vous, especially to elders. I was always taught to respect your elders, so I find that's important here, and especially people like your boss as well.
Have you got any family and friends listening, Mike? You can do a shout out if you want.
I hope I'll be pushing this episode towards them for sure, and then future and past episodes.
Oh, thanks, mate.
So,
But say hello
shout
to
out,
them.
Shout out to my pop, I guess,
Hey.
from Australia.
G'day, Mike's pop.
I dare say we
Hello.
already have listeners from Australia.
I think we do.
Thanks
No, so
to-
far we know that we have Fiji and China
And Sweden.
and Sweden.
And
yeah,
Sweden.
Sweden. We have
Yeah.
3
All
countries.
across the world.
All
Hang on, I
across
thought we
the
had
globe.
America as well.
No, we do have America. I'm
Yeah.
being
I
humble.
thought you had America.
Yeah.
We.
Hang on, what do you mean we?
Well, I feel a part of
friend
the
show.
team now,
You're a
so-
friend
Yeah.
of the show.
All right,
Lina.
guys, the Eurostar's arriving.
Oh yeah, that means
That
closing
must be-
comments
yeah.
from Lina,
Yeah.
and then we're
Closing
done.
comments.
Closing time. Well, I just have one thing to say. Kill the VU.
Oh, well done.
Good summary.
Yes. Yeah,
Maybe you can
that's
do
about
something
it.
with your postcards.
I think I will. Yeah, look out for it.
Do you want to shout out to anyone?
Yes, please. I would like to give a shout out to my grandma, Edna, Dame Edna. She doesn't speak English. She probably won't listen, I just realized. But hi,
She
Grandma.
might be listening, but she maybe won't understand.
That's true. That's true. And please follow.
Yeah, so here's the last plug. Follow at Parisian Postcards on Instagram for pictures about Paris. She'll be running our Instagram account, which you should follow right now at the Earful Tower. Otherwise, check out World Radio Paris and the Earful Tower on Facebook, online, Instagram, wherever. We're everywhere, aren't we?
We
and,
are.
Hey, you know what else? We're on iTunes.
We're
Most
on
of us.
iTunes now.
So, thanks for coming in, guys. Thanks for the
Thanks
coffee,
for
Mike.
having
Thank you for having
Thanks
us.
for the
Cheers.
joys.
Earful Tower with Oliver G.